.hack.gu last recode is way too easy. Let's make things harder for ourselves. I started a playthrough of .hack.gu last recode volume 1 with certain rules. Haseo is not allowed to attack enemies or interact with them. Haseo, however, can heal the party. Second off, the party members are the only ones who can do damage to enemies. And finally, the last rule we have is that mandatory things like the tutorial and avatar battles are excluded, because if they weren't, well, we would lose the challenge immediately. If you like what you see here in today's video, please go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me how much you like .hack, and if we get about 10 likes on this video, we can continue this challenge and see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We begin our playthrough going through the tutorial stuff. Asta and Eoten, two very trustworthy players, are teaching us how to play the game within the world. When we enter the area for the first time, we see a couple of goblins in the distance. And remember when I said that mandatory things such as avatar battles would be excluded from this challenge? Well, this is mandatory. We need to attack an enemy in order to progress through the story. We cannot do anything else otherwise. So, if you're one of those people that says,
"Oh, the challenge is already over, you attacked them,"
then I would say, I hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching the video. Hey, are they gone? Okay, let's continue the video then. Now, typically, Asta and Eoten would not interact with the enemies in this tutorial area. However, before we entered this field, we actually changed their strategy from life to tenacity. This would make it so that way they can go and just attack the enemies without expending SP, which is perfect for us. I mean, being level 10, they just one or two shot these enemies. After the beast statue fragments, we find out some revelations about our heroes by observing carefully the story that is presented to us. And as it turns out, we're level 1 again, and our PC got reset. Oh no. And just like any newbie in an MMO, we end up finding some players who are willing to help us out, Syllabus and Gaspard. Now, these guys are going to be very helpful early on, until we get some more permanent party members, which you will see here later in this video. Syllabus and Gaspard take us to our first major dungeon, where we can finally see how the run's going to look the rest of the video. Well, it's mostly going to be me running around while the other two do their thing. And from what I'm seeing here, magic users like Gaspard are going to be really helpful in a run like this, as their magic hits a wide variety of enemies, and the associated element type of the spell can deal extra damage to certain enemies. We go through the dungeon with Syllabus swinging a sword, Gaspard casting magic, and I take all the credit for their hard work while I'm over here cheering them on. Next we go back and check off our fan mail, and then head back into the world where Syllabus and Gaspard ask us to go on a quest, which we will gladly do. Side quests like these are going to be really helpful, trust me, you'll see in a bit. So we head off to the next dungeon, we explore a little bit, kick some chims, I should say they kicked some chims, and then we ended up finding the lucky animal known as the Nue. Now this thing will allow us to get ourselves a god Chim Chim. We kick it a little bit, get ourselves about 50 or so Chim Spheres, and then the quest is complete. Yay, mission complete. We log out soon after, check our mail, Atoli wants to hang out with us, so we go back inside of the world, so that way we're going to this area. At first I thought there were no enemies here, but hey, as it turns out, there are. And, well, here's the first major roadblock with this. Atoli has no attacking spells. She is a Harvest Cleric, so she specializes in healing, and her physical attacks only do about 3 damage per hit. So, this is going to take a while. In fact, I think this took around like 5 or so minutes as of the recording of this audio. It was then I had an idea. This game's element system is a little bit wonky. It's not really important on a casual playthrough, but on a run like this where we have no spells currently, this helps out a lot. We customized her staff so that way she can have the earth element to her attacks, and how that works is that every time she hits an enemy, there's a chance that she'll deal more damage based off of her elemental affinity, which in this case, it will be earth. And oh boy, that's a lot more damage than she did before, but it's still pretty inconsistent. So we decided to stealth our way to the symbol fragments, we collected them all, and ended up getting our reward from the beast statue. But Atoli was hearing things, so we went around back, you know, did some story things that really important, you guys. You really need to pay attention to the story. And then afterwards, we did some more things. Skipping ahead of the story a little bit, we are told we need to hang out with Kun and Pai, who are, oh boy, they have really high levels for this point of the game and will make easy work of any enemies that we fight. And that's what exactly happens in this area. Same as before, we knock out some of the enemies, we fight the boss. Pai had a little bit of trouble fighting it, but it's fine, she's doing okay. While we were in the fields, we picked up a few items that we could sell for later on. So, we did just that. We went to the magic shop, picked up Baru Cruz at the shop, and taught it to Atoli, the first instance that we got with her. Now, she finally has an attacking spell. And, because we got a Book of Wisdom earlier, her magic attack went up by 3. And trust me, this is going to help much later. But before all that, we ended up heading to Lumina Cloth to watch an arena battle. Entrance is an awesome fighter, and I'm scared to fight him later on because he can dodge attacks, oh boy. So we went off to the next area with Atoli, and we came across another problem. We're both still underleveled. Now, I could have grinded out some levels, but I wanted to see how far I would get with what we had. And well, it was pretty difficult, not gonna lie. So we did the smart thing that Atoli told us to do and just run away. After that part of the story, we picked up a beginner's text from Hanako and ended up going to Canard, where we could tell Gaspard and Syllabus that I am an asshole and we now have no Harvest Cleric. So luckily these two boys ended up thinking ahead of time, and we ended up posting something on the forum saying we need a third party member. Someone responded and it turned out it was Sakura. Oh boy, that's not ominous. So we ended up going through this dungeon alone, and oh boy, I remember trying to get past all of these enemies. It was getting very close at times. We only had to use one smoke screen to the end, so thank goodness. After that part of the story, Atoli had forgiven us and decided, you know what, I'm going to be part of your team anyway, let's do this. So we made our way to Lumina Cloth, and we took a look at our opponents for Lumina Cloth. As you can tell, we are very underleveled for this area, and this will come to bite me on the butt here very soon because I forgot to save. This first arena battle was just absolutely brutal. We had to do this so many times because I forgot to not only level up, but to save prior, and we had to rely on good luck, Atoli casting Baru Cruz, and most importantly, making sure that I do not die. Considering I cannot attack these guys, it's going to be so difficult going forward if our party members die from here on out. And if I die during an arena battle, that's it. The match is over. So, we really need to think about how we go about this further on. We desperately need help here, so we decided to head to the hidden forbidden holy ground, the Hallgrand's Cathedral, to meet one of the best party members that we could ever possibly meet in any dot hack game.
Slow Doberman! Heroes, the third! At your service! Ta-da!
Yeah, that's right, the slow Doberman himself, Firos III. He is definitely going to be a major boon to this, considering that we can take any party member, outside the ones that are offline, into the arena with us. So we could definitely use him to get some more win points so that way we could progress the story. And so for the rest of the stream, we ended up focusing more on not only getting the win points at the arena, but also leveling up all of our characters because, well, if the recommended level is 20, we have a long way to go. We did manage to get a couple of level ups with our characters though, and that +3 to magic attack early on really does help out with us. It's like getting an extra level in terms of damage output. And yeah, that's the video. It's not the full playthrough, as we only had 2 hours for streaming that day. But if you want to join us for when we do this, head over to twitch.tv/KeyToDarkness, where we're doing this live. We're not sure like when we're going to do it, but we're definitely going to continue on if this video gets 10 likes. Until then, friends, thank you for taking this journey with me, and I hope all of you stay classy, stay beautiful, but most importantly, have a good night.